So some problems people think about, they don't associate them with health or their gut. As I mentioned in the preview, mood, energy, skin, stomach, obviously stomach, all those problems, weight control, all of them live in your gut. So let's take a look and figure it out. And by the way, I'm not a doctor, so I'm not going to give you some fancy scientific technologies or terms. We're just going to think with you out loud and see what's happening. I'll add some information that I've collected over the years while I'm studying and promoting healthy lifestyle. But generally speaking, it's all common sense. So, first of all, couple of facts. Fact number one, and you can find it on online, it's very simple. Our gut controls way more than just digestion. As I mentioned, it controls immunity. About 70% of all immunity cells live in our gut. Our hormone balances. And so many people today suffer with hormone imbalances. Why? Because their gut is not functioning properly and they cannot produce the hormones that they need. The next one is energy levels. If we cannot process food correctly, if we cannot pull the energy from the food that we eat in, guys, you cannot have energy without fuel. You cannot have a car with empty tank to drive. You cannot have the stove without gas or coals or whatever, without electricity to run. So you need the energy, and the energy is pulled from the food by your gut. And if there is no proper process, you cannot get the energy. And your mood and the stress regulation. About 90% of all of your happiness hormones live in your gut and developed in your gut. And if you don't have properly functioning gut, you have the mood swings, you have bad mood, you have depression, you have stress, anxiety, all those not so beautiful things that cause us to feel bad, to feel alone, to not able to perform as well as we can, because we all are champions. We all can perform at a higher level than we're performing today. Part of it, your health. The second thing that I want to address is the gut bacteria. The gut bacteria controls your weight, controls your metabolism, and also, funny thing, controls your cravings. So if you want that chocolate or that chips, it's not you, it's bacteria in your intestine or parasites. Both of them, little things that live inside of us. Parasites we don't need, so we can get rid of them, but bacteria we do need. And the level of bacteria in our intestine, our gut, will determine if we have healthy cravings or not so healthy cravings. The next thing that causes the most problem with our gut is stress. And if we look before what we just mentioned, our gut controls our mood and our stress. So it's a vicious cycle. If you don't fix your gut, you will be stressed out. If you have more stress, it causes more damage to your gut. So please pay attention to this. And finally, we'll get to this a little bit later, but the most important things for your gut are two things, only two things: fiber in your diet and hydration, the water that you drink, the amount, the quality. Because let's start here. If you don't drink enough water, you put the food in yourself, hopefully healthy food, most likely not so healthy, and that food has to be digested. It's obviously, there are some things inside, the gastric acid and whatever else. Our body has to digest the food, but then that has to be pushed through the system, and that's the water's job to do it. If you don't drink enough water, that stuff stays in your intestines, stays in your gut, and starts to boil. It starts to inflame, and that causes higher temperature in your body. It causes more poisoning from the toxicity, because it goes to go bad. As you probably know, if you have food and you put it without refrigerating, it's going to go bad. So that's what's happening in your intestine. And then we have bad smell from our body and our mouth. We have the inflammation in the body that causes the brain fog and mood swings. We have the skin problems, because all the toxicity that we have in our body, if not properly removed, comes out on our skin. And the solution is simply drinking enough water. If you drink enough water, especially drinking water in the morning, first thing when you get up from your bed and go to the kitchen and finish with your toilet things that you need to do. Once you do the water, you drink the water, it pushes the stuff that accumulated in your body overnight down, and you should go. If you don't go, that's a sign that you just don't have enough water. And one of our doctors suggested you don't eat until you go. And here's the clue for those who don't go for a couple days: you really have to take a look at your gut, and this is not healthy. Second thing, let's say you're drinking enough water, and let's say you even eating well, but your food, your diet for some reason does not include fiber. What does the fiber do? And fiber does multiple things. Fiber helps your body to, your gut to get cleansed from inside out. It's like a scrub. And that's why you have to have enough fiber in your diet. Fiber feeds your microbiome, the bacteria that lives in your intestine, and you want to make sure that you're feeding healthy bacteria. Welcome to the life. Glad to see you. So that's the second thing. We need to make sure that we have the fiber in our diet. And if, like me, you don't, like me before, you don't eat a lot of greens, you don't like that, you have to find fiber somewhere else. So I found originally fiber in different shakes that our company offers because it's easy. You mix it, you drink it, you get the fiber in, and the fiber does the job for you. Now, that's all said and that's all good. But remember, I always speak about holistic approach to health. So let's take a look at your gut health, not just by drinking water and not just eating fiber, because those two things are crucial and important, but there are other things. As I mentioned, we live in not so sterile world. We are bombarded by toxins, by parasites, by all these different things that cause excessive stress to our body that our body was not originally designed to deal with. So what do we need to do? We need to try to eliminate those stressors, and toxins are number one. So we need to make sure that we eliminate the toxins from our body. If you don't know yet, the toxins are two kinds: water soluble and fat soluble. So if you don't drink water, then about 80% of toxins remain in your body. So drinking water, we got rid of 80% of toxins. We still have 20% left. Now, for those who don't eat fatty foods because they are not healthy, listen up very carefully. Yes, unhealthy fats, there are unhealthy fats and there are healthy fats, and unhealthy fats obviously will make you sick. They cause a lot of problems. But healthy fats, natural fats, we actually need for our body to function properly. And this is not only for the energy, because the main reason we have to eat fats, this is energy. But the other reason that I just mentioned, it's 20% of our toxins are fat soluble. So if there is no fat in our body, those 20% of toxins will remain in our body. And this is not good unless you like to be intoxicated with not nice stuff and accumulate problems that will manifest 5, 6, 7, 10 years later in your life. So don't do that. Second thing, parasites. I already mentioned them briefly. They live in our body whether you want it or not. You didn't give them a visa. They just come in with your food, with dirty hands, with money you touch, with public transportation you use. And it's really hard to avoid getting them. The key here is not to avoid them, even though it's a good idea. Wash your hands, wash your things that you eat. But if you take a little program that runs for 30 days, and if you're really crazy about it for 60 days, you will eliminate the parasites from your body completely. And that's very simple, because we're not going to kill them. We're going to say bye-bye and cut the oxygen for them. We're not going to give them food that they like. And on top of that, we create conditions inside of our body with different herbs that are sour that they don't like. So they will have to leave and find another home, which is nice because we don't kill them. We don't create cemetery inside of our body. Now, the antiparasitic program has some parts to it that help our microbiome, and these same products will control the bacteria, virus, and fungi in our body. And those things we need to have, but we have to have them in check. Next, our intestine needs to be cleansed, and there are different ways to do it. I believe that the only way to do it is natural, from top down. And we have the program that in 14 days will help you to do exactly that. It will purge all the toxicity that remains in your body after the first 2 steps into your intestine. Then we get a lot of fiber from our cocktails that you drink during the day, and that fiber will collect all the junk in your intestine, take it down the toilet, and voila, you remove all the garbage, you lost some extra weight, you have your gut very clean and ready to receive healthy bacteria. That healthy bacteria will multiply in your body and eliminate unhealthy cravings and help you to create healthy cravings, like it was with me. I didn't like most of the fresh fruits and vegetables. I needed to do them, to cook them somehow and add sugar or salt or garlic to actually enjoy the taste. Now I'm happy to report that I eat fresh fruits and vegetables, and I don't need to cook them. And this is much different experience taste-wise, but also it's much healthier. Once you take those things and process them with the temperature or otherwise, you're reducing the amount of nutrients in them. So why would you do that? It just doesn't make any sense. Now, let's say you've done all of that and your intestines still not function properly. Remember, we need to feed the gut bacteria. They need probiotics and prebiotics. They need fiber. You may need to add some enzymes in your diet if your diet lacking it. And please pay attention. You do not want to use animal-based enzymes, because something I learned, again, I'm not a doctor, so I did not know that, but animal-based enzymes replace the human-based enzymes, and your body stops to produce enzymes altogether. So you will be for life hooked to those products or the medications or supplements that are animal-based. But if you use plant-based enzymes, they do not replace the human-based enzymes. So you help your body, but you still get your body functioning properly. So that means we need to feed our body and our gut with things that are missing. One of the things that you want to include in your diet, and this is very surprising, probably product that you would never think about, is collagen, because your gut has to move to push the food down, and if it's not flexible, if the walls of your gut are not flexible enough and not able to move freely, that will cause the food to stay. It will cause the walls of the intestine to fall, to break, or to start leaking, and you don't want those leaky gut things, because again, they cause the brain fog, intoxication of your body, all those not happy things that we are trying to avoid here today. So now let's look at the whole picture here. We have the gut that controls pretty much everything: our immunity, our weight, our cravings, our mood, our energy, all of this, skin, all of this comes from this little sac that we have in our body that we try to fill up with stuff that not necessarily have to be there in the first place. And we are not understanding why doctors tell me, oh, you just have to eliminate these foods, or you just have to take these pills for the rest of your life, or you just have to stay away from dogs or cats because you're allergic. By the way, allergy is also, how do I say it? Allergy is not a verdict. If you have allergies and you haven't tried to do the cleansing process, then think about it again. You may be able to get rid of it. I'm not saying you will, but you may be able to get rid of it. We have a lot of people who came to us with different allergies, and they leave today allergies free. Again, not meaning that you will get it out, but if you don't try, you will never know. So try. So we have the gut. It requires attention. It requires a lot of water, because that's how you flush it. Imagine you have dirty apartment or dirty car, and you're trying to wash it with a cup of water. You cannot do it. You will never try to wash it with a cup of tea or soda, because you know those things are not designed for washing. So obviously water is the choice. The question is how much. Different object, depends on the size, it requires different amount of water. If your body is bigger than mine, then you have to drink more water than I do. And if you're smaller, then same thing applies. Now, fiber have to be in your food. If you don't take it with your food, take it as a supplement. Find a way to do it. And if you don't know how and where to get quality ones, reach out to me. I will be more than happy to point you in the right directions. I'm going to show you exactly what I use for myself, for my family, and it will be first-hand recommendation. I'm not trying to promote to you something I do not use myself. And then if you decide to go one step further and make sure that your intestine doesn't get clogged, doesn't have to get repaired later, you go through this holistic approach to health, that you cleanse your body from toxins, parasites, balance viruses, fungus, and bacteria, and cleanse your intestine at least once a year. With help of our programs, if you wish, it will be just easier and more comfortable. And if not, go find your own way. I'm not saying you have to stick with us, but I'm saying with us it's much easier, much more affordable, and definitely sustainable. Last 7 years showed me that it's so simple. I've done it anywhere, traveling, home, exercising, working, you name it. You can do it because most people figure it out, and I will help you. Imagine that you going to a life coach or health coach or fitness coach and you get advice from them for the rest of your life with no pain. So this is me. I'm here to help you to get what you want, and you will not be obligated to pay me anything except if you want to use our products. I will be more than happy to be your coach. Anyways, we have the gut. We need to make sure it functions properly. We can do it because it's simple if you know how. Now you know how. Now you know what you need to know about your gut. The question is, will you do it? Do you have enough why to change your habits, to change your lifestyle so you can live longer, happier, healthier, and more beautiful? You may look better, you may feel better, and you may produce better. And this is another thing that I always speak about. Our life is designed, we came to this world to produce something in our life. We all have goals and desires and inspirations. And if you don't have energy, if you're constantly stressed out or in depressed mood, we cannot produce. So get your health together, get your act together, get your energy together, and perform at your best. I'm here to help. Reach out to me with any questions. If you disagree, comment below. I will be more than happy to respond to your disagreements and speak with you. Maybe next live you'll join me and we'll have a little conversation online. I'm here to really help. I have information, I have resources, and I really believe that anybody can take this information and become healthier. Have a wonderful evening. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you who I'm not going to see, because next Thursday I will not be here. I will be celebrating with my family and enjoying the meal, knowing that my gut works properly. And I wish you the same.